Hi, I'm Erik Bowman with Bowman Financial Strategies. If you're watching this, there's a good chance one of two things is true. Either you've recently lost a spouse and someone in your life is trying to help you figure out what to do next, or you're thinking ahead, wondering what my husband or wife would actually face if something happened to you. Either way, I'm glad you're here. The next 10 minutes are for you. I'm going to walk you through the things I wish every surviving spouse knew in the first 90 days. Because the financial decisions that get made in those first 3 months can have a lasting impact on your financial picture. For some households, the difference between making those decisions thoughtfully and making them in a hurry is meaningful. We've developed a booklet that walks through all of this and more called the Financial Guide for the Surviving Spouse. Stick around until the end of the video and I'll tell you how to secure your no-cost copy. The very first thing I want to tell you, and this is the most important sentence in the whole video, you do not have to make any financial decisions right now. Not this week, not this month. Probably not for at least 90 days. When a spouse passes away, the phone starts ringing almost immediately. Insurance agents calling, banks asking what to do with your accounts, family members with strong opinions, friends saying, you should really sell your house, or you should really pay off the mortgage, or you should really move that money somewhere safe. Please, just wait. The grief is real. The fog is real. Your brain is not making decisions the way it normally does. That's not a weakness. It's biology. Anyone who's pressuring you to move quickly with your money usually isn't helping you. And the people who genuinely have your interests at heart will be willing to wait with you. Many times, trusted siblings or children may be part of these conversations, both to be another set of eyes and ears and also as emotional support. So step 1, give yourself permission to slow down. Now, with that said, there are a handful of things that genuinely do need to happen in the first 30 days. Let me walk you through them quickly. Number 1, order plenty of death certificates. I tell clients get at least 1 to 2 dozen. You'll need originals, not copies, for Social Security, life insurance, the IRA custodian, the pension, the deeds to the house, the car titles. Running back to the funeral home for more is a hassle you don't need. Number 2, Social Security needs to be notified. Typically, the mortuary will notify them on your behalf. There's a survivor benefit you may be entitled to that I'm going to talk about in just a minute. Number 3, locate the important documents. The will, the trust, if there is one, recent tax returns, account statements, life insurance policies, and more. Don't worry about understanding all of it, just gather it into one place. Number 4, notify the financial professionals, the financial advisor, the estate attorney if there is one, the CPA. These are the people whose job it is to help you carry this load. That's the first 30 days. Death certificates, Social Security, documents, and your professional team. Everything else, the big decisions, the moves, the changes, those can wait. Now let's talk about something that surprises a lot of people. As a surviving spouse, you may be entitled to a Social Security survivor benefit based on your husband or wife's earnings record, and this is separate from your own Social Security retirement benefit. Here's what most people don't realize. In many cases, the survivor benefit is larger than what you were getting yourself, and you have choices about which one to take and when. Some people will claim the survivor benefit first and switch to their own benefit at 70 when their own has grown to its maximum. Other people do the reverse. They take their own benefit now and switch to the survivor benefit later. Which sequence is right for you depends on your ages, your earnings history, your other income, and your health. This is a decision that, if made correctly, may result in meaningfully more income over your lifetime. Made incorrectly, the cost can be just as meaningful in the other direction, which is why it's worth running the numbers carefully before you choose. So please, before making a claiming decision, talk to a financial professional or CPA who can run the numbers both ways for your situation. The Social Security Administration can help you understand the benefits available to you and process the application. The question of which claiming sequence fits your full financial picture is a separate analysis that deserves its own conversation. This next one almost nobody knows about, and it's one of the most important things in this whole video. It's called the widow tax penalty. It's not a separate tax. It's just what happens when your filing status changes from married filing jointly to single. And here's the problem. As a married couple, you had a larger standard deduction and wider tax brackets. As a single filer, you have a smaller standard deduction and narrower brackets. The income that was lightly taxed when there were two of you can be heavily taxed when there's just one of you. It gets worse with Social Security. The way Social Security gets taxed depends on what's called your provisional income, and the thresholds are different for couples than for single filers. As a married couple, your Social Security stayed completely untaxed until provisional income crossed about $32,000. Above that, up to half of your benefit could become taxable, and above $44,000, up to 85% of your benefit could be taxed. As a single filer, those same thresholds drop sharply to $25,000 and $34,000 respectively. So the income that kept your benefits lightly taxed when there are two of you can push much more of your Social Security into taxable territory when you're filing alone. So even if your Social Security income drops by 30 or 40% because one Social Security check is gone, your tax bill might actually go up. That's the widow tax penalty. The good news, this is one of the most planning-friendly problems in retirement if you start before it happens. Roth conversions, smart asset location, drawdown sequencing, these can all meaningfully reduce the impact. But the planning has to be done in advance, ideally years in advance, while both spouses are alive. If you're watching this and your spouse is still with you, please don't put this off. One more technical piece, and then we'll talk about what to do. When your spouse passes away, certain assets they owned, stocks, mutual funds, the house, real estate, get something called a step-up in cost basis. In plain English, that means the IRS resets the value of those assets to what they were worth on the day your spouse died. And why does this matter? Because if you sell those assets, you only pay capital gains tax on growth from that new stepped-up value forward, not on growth your spouse had over the previous 20 or 30 years. Here's a hypothetical example. Suppose your spouse bought a stock for $10,000 30 years ago, and today it's worth $50,000. Without the step-up, selling that stock could mean a $40,000 taxable gain. With the step-up, your basis could reset to $50,000, and if you sold it shortly afterward, the federal capital gains tax on that sale could be very low, possibly zero. I want to be careful with this one because the actual tax outcome depends on a few things: what state you live in, whether the asset was owned jointly or solely, whether you live in a community property state, and your overall tax picture in the year of sale. So this is exactly the kind of decision where you want a CPA or financial professional looking at your specific situation before you start selling things. For many surviving spouses with appreciated assets, the step-up is one of the more valuable provisions in the tax code. Though how much it matters in your specific case depends on what you own and where you live. But you have to know about it before you start selling things. So please, do not sell inherited investments. Do not sell the house. Do not move accounts around until somebody who understands cost basis has had a look. The step-up is a one-time opportunity. It's worth getting it right. A few more things to mention briefly because they get missed. Update the beneficiaries on your accounts. Your spouse was almost certainly the primary beneficiary on your IRA or your 401k, your life insurance. Now that they're gone, those need to be updated, usually to children, a trust, or other family members. If you don't update them, the wrong person can end up inheriting. Review your own life insurance. You may need more, you may need less, you may not need any. The answer changes the day you become single. And watch out for fraud. Surviving spouses are unfortunately a target. Obituaries are public information. And there are people who specifically scan them looking for vulnerable people. Be skeptical of unexpected phone calls, especially anyone pressuring you to make a quick financial move. And finally, update your own will, your power of attorney, and your healthcare directive. Your spouse was probably listed in all of these documents. They need to be replaced with someone who can act for you if you can't. I know that was a lot. If you're a surviving spouse watching this and feeling overwhelmed, please hear me. You don't have to figure all of this out alone, and you don't have to figure it out today. There is a process, there are steps, and there are professionals whose role is to help guide you through it. We've put together a no-cost booklet called The Financial Guide for the Surviving Spouse. It walks through everything I just talked about: the first 30 days, Social Security, account transfers, the tax issues, the documents you need in plain English, organized in the order things need to happen. You can go through it at your own pace. If you'd like a copy, just reach out. The website is bowmanfinancialstrategies.com, or give us a call and you can request the guide. There is no cost and no obligation. And if at some point you'd like to sit down and talk through your specific situation, we're here for that too. The first conversation is at no charge. We may be able to help, no matter what state you live in. Whether you're navigating this right now or you're trying to make sure your spouse is taken care of someday, thank you for spending these few minutes with me. This is important work, and it deserves to be done thoughtfully. I'm Erik Bowman with Bowman Financial Strategies. Take good care.